And a big good morning to you for another TNT. I'm Tim Newton and I'm very grateful for you dropping in to find out a little bit about the latest Thai news. Big thank you for last Thursday's numbers. I'm not exactly sure what's happened. I think YouTube's gone completely crazy, but had our biggest program ever. So we're going to follow up today on some of the issues we brought up last week in regards to going through some of your comments, because there were a few good comments that came in over the past 2 or 3 days. So I thought we'll go through some of those during the program. Please subscribe to the program if you get an opportunity. But for now, let's get started. There's been a lot of reporting and commentary about the prospect of the Thai government selling freehold land to foreigners. Quite steep qualifications, but that aside, looks like some real estate agents are starting to freak out about the possibility that they might be able to flog expensive land to foreigners. So they've come up with their own idea, as reported in the Bangkok Post. No, it's Thai PBS World, and it says real estate sector to propose alternative to foreigners buying land in Thailand. The Thai real estate business operators will propose that the government allow foreigners to buy houses on up to 1 rai of land. The key word there being houses. So they're saying they can sell the house, but they can't sell the land that's underneath. So the key word there is houses, not the land underneath. So they're selling just the houses. So they're going to meet on Thursday, down the third paragraph. The meeting is expected to come up with an alternative proposal to be sent to the government for consideration. The proposal will allow foreigners to buy houses in Thailand, but there should be limits on the sizes of the houses and prices on top of the requirements that they hold long-term residential visas. Foreign house owners will have the right to vote at meetings, blah, 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 but they wouldn't have the full rights granted to Thai nationals. They note that the edict recently issued by the Ministry of Interior to allow 4 groups of foreigners with long-term resident visas to buy up to 1 rai of land in Bangkok, Pattaya and other municipal areas and specific areas with strings attached will not benefit the Thai economy. Well, of course, that's what they're going to be arguing, because such a policy is unlikely to boost liquidity in the economy. And down the bottom, they note the USA, UK and the EU, among other places. There's no citizenship required for the purchase of land for residential purposes. In Australia, residency may be an advantage, but not citizenship. A lot of people in the comments section saying that if it's okay for Thais to buy property in other countries, then there should be some sort of reciprocal arrangement. So, interested to see what you think about that. I'm not sure if that's completely workable. How can you own the house, but not the land underneath? When you go to sell it, you're just selling the house. I don't know. I don't think that really makes much sense, and I'm not sure if that's going to really excite a lot of people. And if they're going to make the high bar so high that it's very hard for just normal people like you and me to get into the property sector, then again, I just don't think there's going to be much interest in that. To our next story today, and from Thai PBS World, Chiang Rai's Tham Luang to be designated as National and Historical Park. Now, the Tham Luang Caves were the site of that incident back in June and July in 2018, where the 12 young soccer players and their coach got stuck in there and eventually saved. A story that's been told many, many times. We'll get back to what I recommend in regards to the particular documentaries and films made about it. The Department of National Parks, Wildlife and Plant Conservation have been working with relevant agencies to get the Tham Luang Kunnam Nang Non Forest Park designated as a National and Historical Park and eventually a UNESCO World Heritage Site. On the back of what happened there back in July 2018, or because it's a spectacular national park? Third paragraph there. After 3 years of closures due to COVID-19, the park reopened to the public in mid-October. About 1,000 tourists visit the park each weekday and about 2,000 during the weekends. So certainly a lot of people want to go and look at the caves. I'd certainly like to go and have a look as well. I think some of those high numbers might be due to the latest crop of documentaries and movies, and a mini-series too, made about the Tham Luang Caves. But whether it's going to sort of hold the interest of people long term, that's yet to be seen. 20 million baht was allocated in the 2022 fiscal year for infrastructure development at the Forest Park, including the construction of a tourist service centre, toilets and other facilities. There's also a statue of the man that was lost, the Thai Navy SEAL. There's a big bronze statue of him, and they're building a whole sort of visitor centre. You can't go in the caves at the moment, but I think they're doing quite a lot to make it, well, maybe a good tourist attraction, plus of course reliving or remembering what happened back there in 2018. The national park, which is yet to be set up, covers an area of 1,920 hectares, mostly forest, in 4 sub-districts of Mae Sai, Chiang Rai Province. So to what I recommend, there are a lot of films out at the moment. There's the 13 Lives, there's the Cave. There's been quite a few big films. A lot of them have focused on what was happening outside the caves and the big international effort and the heroism by particular groups of people that made it all possible. I recommend these 2. Firstly, one is called Thai Cave Rescue. This is sort of the main cast with the people portraying Coach Ek and the 12 young boys. So this is a 6-part miniseries, and it was called Thai Cave Rescue. There's a lot to be said about this. I thought it was excellent. Now, it is done in Thai by a Thai production team. I found it excellent. It covered a whole lot of different aspects of the Thai Cave Rescue, but it really focused on what was happening inside the cave and the mental trauma that the young men went through during their stay inside the cave. It's also got English subtitles and an English voice track and a few other languages as well. But I'd recommend you, if you're going to watch it, it's on Netflix by the way, that you watch Thai Cave Rescue in Thai and have English subtitles. I found that by far the best way to enjoy it. The English voice track was a little bit ham-fisted. The other one is called The Trapped 13, How We Survived the Cave Rescue, made by a sort of a subgroup of the people that made the Thai Cave Rescue miniseries on Netflix. And this one includes interviews with some of the actual young men who were stuck inside the cave. So that actually gave a lot of new insight into the way they were thinking. So there, I believe, the 2 best productions to watch if you want to get a good sense of what happened during the Thai Cave Rescue. Now, in just a moment, we're going to head out onto the roads. Remember that abandoned hotel in Phuket? Well, it may not be there anymore. We should also thank our sponsors, 5 Star Marine, for their ongoing support. If you do come down to Phuket, make sure you contact 5 Star Marine and head out on a private tour to one of the islands. Going, almost gone. That's what's left of the abandoned hotel that never opened and was causing a potential problem for traffic on the bypass road in Phuket. Now that's what's left of the abandoned hotel. It was once looking like it was going to open some 20 years ago. It never did, never occupied, and that's what's left of it. Part of the foundations were washed away during some very heavy torrential rains around about 3 weeks ago in Phuket. So the decision was made to remove the rest of that hotel that had just been sitting there abandoned for a couple of decades. Now the road, the bypass road, one of the busiest roads in Phuket, usually 4 lanes, 2 going northbound, 2 going southbound. Now they've got all the traffic in the southbound lanes, and it's causing quite a few delays as the traffic further back there banks up, waiting to get through this new traffic arrangement. But as you can see, that's fairly short-lived, because now we've got this abandoned hotel almost removed, and we look like we'll have the bypass road open early next week, to the delight, I'm sure, of the people that use the bypass road in Phuket all the time, including all the transport vans bringing tourists from the Phuket International Airport. You're on the TNT program. I thought for a change of scenery today, we might read some of your comments that I get on the comment section. I do read them all. From time to time I'll respond. I certainly can't respond to all of them, but here are a few just ones that I grabbed this morning that just, I suppose, grabbed my interest. From Jackson Drake, it will stay legal. Now, Jackson's talking about the cannabis bill and the prospect that this week it could be voted down again with the support of the Democrats and the opposition parties here in Thailand. But Jackson says people like it and don't care. The haters are outnumbered badly. Well, that may be so, Jackson, but I suppose the point here is it's what happens in the parliament that is the important matter. And if there is some sort of backtracking or even a reversal of the decriminalisation, it's what happens after that that's important. I believe, like you perhaps, that the genie's well out of the bottle, but firstly there's going to have to be a say and a vote by the MPs who make up the legislation. To another comment, and this is from RJ, apart from a few islands and coastal areas in the south, Thailand is a shit place to buy land and live. It doesn't have a lot of good things to say about Thailand. It's a hot and humid, polluted, mosquito-infested shithole, to be honest. Just rent in the south near the sea and keep your money in your home, stable country with legal security. Well, I'm not sure if I quite agree with most of your comments in the first half of your comment there, RJ, but maybe you got something to say in the second half where maybe if you are going to invest in property, doing it in your home country where you've got some sort of more permanent legal stature over your property might be the way to go. To the next comment, and this one says, this is from Sirius Venus. Alcohol consumption is far more dangerous than marijuana and detrimental for Thai society. This has been a common theme in a lot of the people commenting about this story, rather than focusing on the politics of the matter, and that's all that really matters at the moment, people trying to stump up support for marijuana use. The alcohol lobbies must be partially funding your podcast, although it's informative about party affiliations. The Wild West theory about keeping marijuana legal and a commercial hit is obviously not to your liking. You probably drink your share of alcohol, though, and consider it normalised and not even dangerous toxin that you ingest on a regular basis, blah, blah, blah. Well, actually, I'm a teetotaler. I don't drink alcohol at all. But I get what you're saying. You're trying to say that alcohol is much more dangerous. I'm certainly not funded by the alcohol lobbies. I haven't had one red cent from them, nor have they offered it to me at this stage. From Trick Shots, I have the money to buy property, but I'm renting now and investing my cash. Real estate's never yours. In Thailand, I think he means. And if government change politics, losing all can be a surprise. A surprise indeed, and an unpleasant one at that. But that is one of the problems that you have if you don't have freehold ownership of that particular property, that a change of government or a change of whim of the land department could put your property or your investment in jeopardy. This one, we start at the top. Jack Dobson said, Thailand's doomed. It's full of Indians and the Chinese are coming next when their power-mad government chill over COVID, I think he means. They spend peanuts with Thais here, but the junta have 0 sense when it comes to tourism. They're busy with their brown envelopes. Okay, sort of, it's a cheap shot, I suppose, at what's happening here in Thailand. Very racist comment there generally, and I called him out on it, and I said, well, I'd have to disagree with at least half your comments, Jack. Apart from the overt racism, the situation is a lot more nuanced than you make out, but appreciate your time to comment anyway. Well, a few other people sort of jumped in and said, I'm just sort of a left-wing liberal lunatic, blah, blah, blah. And down second last from Roy, Jack, you're right, this guy Tim apparently has his eyes wide shut. And then Jack finished by saying, he's an Aussie. I rest my case. Well, poor Jack doesn't like Indians, Chinese or Australians, and I'm sorry, Jack, that you're so disappointed with Australians, and apparently all Australians are left-wing liberals, according to you. I'm not sure whether you quite understood the full irony of your full comment, your last comment as well. Anyway, thanks Jack for that. Let's move on to the next one. And this from somebody who's got a Thai name but doesn't look very Thai. Sawadi Krap Tim, I live in Rawai and just heard you speak about the lens operation. I'm going to do that with the same lenses you got. Can you give me some information? Where did you get yours? How much was it? Okay, so in regards to people who have made inquiries about the surgery I had, I've got my stitches out by the way, so that's good. And the lens operation, yes, I had my eye lenses removed and replaced with multifocal artificial plastic lenses about 3 years ago. So I can read close, middle and distance perfectly well. I got the eyesight of a 6-year-old. Amazing operation. Not particularly cheap, but what I'd urge you to do, rather than naming the doctors and the phone numbers and the contacts here, if you send me an email to timnewtontoday@gmail.com, that's timnewtontoday@gmail.com, I'll send you the details. I've spoken to the various doctors and they've given me permission to pass on their contacts. From my side, both with this surgery and with the eye surgery, I've been very happy indeed. Oh, to our next story. And this one's from the Bangkok Post. 25,000 cops to guard the APEC summit. APEC, the Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation, is coming up in 2 or 3 weeks and everybody's getting ready for it. And the Thai government are on a complete charm offensive about how ready they are. Security measures are now in place for the 29th APEC. It's going to be in Bangkok from 18 to 19. There'll be some meetings in the 2 or 3 days before. Things like the foreign ministers, diplomats, other interest groups will also be getting together at the Queen Sirikit Convention Centre. But 18 and 19 are when all the big hitters come. The second paragraph there, the Royal Thai Police yesterday released a video clip with the police chief of Thailand saying police are fully prepared for the summit. I'm glad to hear that. Then the Deputy Chief Police says that there's 25,000 police will be mobilised from around Bangkok and surrounding provinces. Some will be deployed along the routes of summit participant motorcades, while others will be positioned on the top of high-rise buildings to monitor the situation to ensure the safety of delegates. So really great news here, telegraphing exactly the security provisions they're putting in place. Down the bottom there, he said some roads will be closed temporarily to make way for rehearsals of the motorcade from the guest hotels to the Queen Sirikit National Convention Centre. So from now until APEC, I think you can probably expect a certain amount of disruption around those roads leading to the convention centre. Police say security authorities are also keeping a close watch on the movement of activists as well as insurgent groups from the southern border provinces. We know that there's been an insurgency running down there on the Thai-Malaysian border for over 20 years now. Some, I think, 7,000 people killed. It's okay to travel, by the way, I should say, in the south if you're going with a tour group or a bus, or if you're sticking to the main roads. There's very, very rarely been any disruption. Prime Minister said political activists should avoid creating problems for the sake of national interest. Thailand's hosting a major international event which will help promote the country and boost tourism. So the terrorists and activists are going, well, then we'll cancel all our activities because it's in the national interest. And a security source said that some insurgent groups from the far south may turn up in Bangkok during the summit and cause disturbances that draw attention from the international community, while some protest groups may hold activities that could disrupt the meeting. I think we'll see some sort of protest, not necessarily ones that will disrupt the meeting, but people will take this opportunity while the international media spotlight, well, maybe some of it, will be focused on Bangkok, and they'll want to get their points made, particularly if, for example, China's president or Russia's president turn up. I think there'll be international activists who will come and try and make some sort of comments during the summit. According to the latest announcement, there's going to be road closures around the clock from November the 16th to 19th on Ratchadapisek Road between Asok Montri and the Rama 4 Klongtoi intersections. The MRT station at the Queen Sirikit National Convention Centre will be closed from the 16th to the 19th. Bangkok will be a no-fly zone for drones from the 16th to the 21st, and the government's declared the 16th to the 18th to be public holidays in Bangkok, Nonthaburi and Samut Prakan during the APEC meeting. If there's anything that you need to know about the arrangements for the APEC meeting, we'll certainly keep you informed. But as several polls have shown during the last few weeks, Thais are either oblivious or simply don't care about the APEC meeting. But if you're moving around the middle of that sort of central Sukhumvit Road area around Asok intersection, then you will need to keep up to date with road closures and preparations being made. To this story, and this is from The Tiger, and it says K-pop band NCT 127 ended Jakarta concert on crush fears. Of course, after a couple of incidents over the past month of crowd crushes, there's been one in Jakarta at a football game. No, it wasn't Jakarta, but I think it was Surabaya in Indonesia with a football game. Then, of course, there was the horrific incident up in Seoul last week in the Itaewon district. So a lot of fears, I think, and people worried about more of these crowd crushes. The K-pop sensation NCT 127 ended their first concert in Jakarta early when 30 fans fainted in a crush. And down the bottom there, the concert near the capital Jakarta had been going on for about 2 hours when fans surged towards the stage. At least 30 were reported to have fainted. Police stopped the concert. I think this is going to be an ongoing issue with crowd control at these big events. And of course, we've got the World Cup coming up in Qatar, and there'll be a lot of focus on trying to make sure, well, Qatar will be doing everything they can to make sure there's no similar incidents. And with that, I thank you for watching today's TNT. We'll do it again tomorrow, plus a special report about a charity that you'll be able to get involved in the next few weeks. Thanks for watching TNT.